mostly in a technological area where I operate, it's a huge, huge blessing. Today with me, I have wonderful and amazing women that I have the opportunity to present to you all in a few minutes. But I will start my conversation with other two ambassadors for women in tech. Melissa, that is the ambassador for South Africa. And it's amazing that we are the two African countries that are opening chapters in Africa. Congratulations, Melissa. And also Claudia from Portugal, the ambassador for Portugal. Claudia, can you please share with us, as you are one of the oldest ambassadors for Women in Tech, what is Women in Tech and its purpose?
Hi, Romana. Thank you for this invitation. I'm really happy to finally have this soft launch in Angola, and to have you as an ambassador for Angola. Actually, the first one to be an ambassador from invitation of Ayumi, it was the Candice from UK, and next one it was me from Portugal. So we opened the chapter over here in Portugal. As Ayumi always tell in her story, and she is here, that there's where everything started, where that came in mind, that Ayumi went to the Web Summit and we didn't see any representation of women over there in technology of speakers. And after looking for in the world to see what the communities were doing, she saw that it wasn't it's local communities. It didn't had one global community with the same vision, with the same purpose, and doing all that. And after we start this chapter here in Portugal, and we kick off in the 8th of March, so it's also a holiday and a bank holiday in Luanda. And for the Women's Day, we kick off the launch in Portugal, and we had a huge room fill up with people that want to engage with us. Great. So Women in Tech is actually a movement that brings and aims to mitigate the gender gap between in technology and mainly also in STEM areas, and bring and empower more women into technology.
Thank you. Melissa, well, we are both ambassadors for Africa. I'm sure we will be working close various times. How is your experience being so far?
Well, thank you very much. Yes, we also launched the South African chapter today as part of the 24-hour virtual tour, and it was very successful. We had excellent speakers, and I'm really excited about the energy and the drive that all of these women have to empower other women and to help girls, embrace technology. And the theme across, for me, what I almost found was it comes down to introducing technology at a young stage for girls and for boys. I mean, this is all about diversity and equality, and it's really giving them the access and a platform to collaborate on various levels. So I think for me, it's very exciting to be part of a global platform and to be able to represent Africa on a global stage. So it's been really, really exciting, and the whole virtual tour so far has been very inspirational with all of the phenomenal ladies that we've listened to today. But yeah, thank you, and good luck with your launch as well. And I'm sure we'll, like you've mentioned, collaborate in the future on some Africa projects. I look forward to it.
Thank you, and best of luck for you too. Well, and with us is Ayumi Moore. She's the founder of Women in Tech. So we are all here because of you, Ayumi. You are the origin of this amazing event, and you are the origin of putting us all together. You know how much I love you, and how much I'm grateful to have you in our lives. And I would be very glad to have a message from you to our chapter and to everyone that is listening to us.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Romana. So I must say that I'm very particularly happy to be launching this chapter in Angola today, and this for so many reasons. I think that together with South Africa, it's one of the first, you are the first two Women in Tech chapters in Africa. And Africa is a continent for me that I love particularly because it's my home country. I grew up in South Africa, so I was born in Brazil, but I went to South Africa when I was 12 years old, and I lived there. I did all my studies, my high school, my university, and I became a woman in South Africa. And also my first passion to strive for gender equality and to fight for our rights came on during my teenager years. So I have a very tight relationship and a lot of love and fun memories of Africa. So opening this chapter today with two African countries and Angola being also a Portuguese, speaking country, for me, it's very, very special. So I just wanted to share with you a little bit how Women in Tech came up and how it's special it is to be doing this launch and this kickoff with all of you here today. So I founded this non-profit organization less than 2 years ago. As Claudia said, it really came all up when I was doing Web Summit in Lisbon. And Claudia was one of the first people I met when we did the very first event, which was the Women in Tech Awards. But before that, just right in the beginning, when I had the idea to found it, to really create this movement, as she said, I was trying to see what organizations or what initiatives existed around the world that would federate, that would really take action to try and empower women. Obviously, there were lots of networks, women networks that would sit together and discuss and talk about how it's not fair, and how much there's a gender gap and how we have to do things. But nothing was ever done. That means that it was just, we were in the victim roles. It was saying, okay, we have a huge problem, but no one was doing anything about it. And some initiatives, I must say, that were doing things, it was more on a very local level. And if you want to make change, we have to work together because it's a problem and it's a challenge that's not unique to a country or to a specific place, but we are finding the same challenge all around the world. So I had no money, I had no partners, I had no support, and I knew no influential people, but I had two main things. I had a dream and I had a purpose. I wanted to empower women and girls across the world with the necessary skills, opportunities, and confidence. So it's very important to say confidence as well, to succeed in STEM fields. And I'm a true believer that a dream is not a fantasy. And if you take the necessary actions to reach the dream, they can become a reality. So that's what I did. I took the action in building a community of people that share the same values that I did and the same vision. And that's of a world of equal opportunities for technology, for the people of all genders. I'm not even saying women and men, but really people of all genders, nationalities, cultures, backgrounds, ethnicities, because diversity and inclusion is key to innovation. It's not only a matter of social issue, but it's a matter of economic issue as well. Diverse teams, we do perform better. So Women in Tech, we focus on 4 primary areas, which are a call for action. That means education, entrepreneurship, social inclusion, science and innovation. And our movement has spread across the world very, very rapidly. With the opening of 8 chapters in the past year. So we did first the UK with Candace, and Claudia was there also in the UK. And then the 8th of March, Women's International Day, we did it in Lisbon. So that was very, very special. And then we went to Macedonia, to Australia, to New York, to Russia. So we had 8 chapters that were opened last year. And today we're opening 6 new chapters. So from having very, very, very small community, we've grown to have over 16,000 members in 2 years. And we have members in over 60 countries. And today we're going to be having 15 chapters there all around the world. So I'm very, very proud, very happy, very honored to be able to open this with my dear Romana Ibrahim. So I couldn't have found a better, it was not me who found it. It was Clara that presented her to me, and I said, oh my goodness, is she for real? You know what I mean? She's beautiful, she's smart, she's an entrepreneur, she's kind. No? So I said, okay, that's the lady. And I think she is such, and what I love her most about her is that she's led by wanting to create impact in everything that she does. She doesn't do something just to do it. She does, and she creates impact, and she wants to change the life of everyone around her, not only her family, but the people and the society itself, for a better world. So I have a very deep respect and admiration for her, and I am certain that she will drive Women in Tech Angola to become a key asset in the local ecosystem, federating not only a community of people and amplifying the global network of women in tech, but also implementing programs and actions to empower women and girls in tech. So thank you very much, Romana, and up to you. And welcome Angola, welcome to our tribe, welcome to our family.
Thank you, Ayumi. Now it would be the moment to hug you, but I'm sure that very soon we will be able to do that in Luanda.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm sure that we will all be together as well. You know, it's great to open this chapter in Angola. As I mentioned earlier, I'm very close to Angola. In 2003, when I moved myself there, I was 33 years old, and I had a dream. Exactly, I had a dream, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do and to create the difference. And I started from not zero. I think it's minus 100. So every time that someone comes to Angola now and they complain, I just breathe and I say, look, this is a Disneyland now. So there's a lot that we built in the country. Of course, that's nowadays we are facing other issues, but the infrastructure is there and a lot was development. And the women in Angola, they are truly entrepreneurs. They are the basis of the family. They are the basis of the education of their kids. And I'm sure that Women in Tech will do a lot for them and support them in terms of empower them and give them a better world and a better life in general. The ecosystem in Angola is growing at full speed. Today I have here with me 3 main drivers that work every day very close to the Angolan market. 2 of them are there every day. The other one is there with not every day, but almost 22 hours, I would say, Paula. Yeah. So we are very, very close to the market, and we want to support the market and then do more. I have the pleasure to present Paula Oliveira, that is just to my left. Paula is the founder and the partner to UCall. She's also an investor in startups and the technological area. I also have Claudia Viana. She is an innovation lead in Standard Bank, and she's been doing an amazing job in Standard Bank and bringing innovation and technology to the banking area. And also a great friend, Amy Kugel, that is the managing director for, and also a founder of Founder Institute in Luanda, and is being accelerating startups since day one, with all the strength and facing a lot of things that only her will share with us. Now, and to talk a little bit and to start, let me start with you, Amy. The ecosystem is growing, right? Can you share with us a little bit of your experience at Founder Institute?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Romana, and thank you all for the invitation and I'm very proud to be part of launch of be part of this event, and I appreciate the invitation, and I hope we will enjoy this conversation. Well, as you said, I'm the local leader of Founder Institute Luanda. Just in a few words, just to explain, the Founder Institute Luanda is part of a worldwide network, Founder Institute at worldwide network. We have 70 chapters in the world in different cities, and we are running an accelerator program for startups at pre-seed stage, focusing, helping, and empowering entrepreneurs, validating their ideas in order to build a meaningful technology-based companies that can grow and impact not only in the country, but in the region and hopefully in the world. This is our job. Regarding the ecosystems in Angola, as you previously mentioned, the ecosystem, besides the ecosystem is an early activation phase, is growing very fast. Today it's possible to identify the different partners, the different players, and the role that each of us are playing in benefit of entrepreneurship in the country. We have the startups, we have the ecosystem builders like startup accelerators, incubators, co-working spaces, startup studios, tech labs. We have also the support and sponsors entities, including the government institution and public programs. Yes. Supporting entrepreneurship. We have also the support sponsors. We have the entities organizing a lot of events and training activities in the country, and of course the media, communication, and investors. The ecosystem is evolving, is growing, and with a lot of collaboration and sharing, which is something that is very important, the team building and the teamwork, trying to implement and develop different startups.
I maybe, picking up one of the points that you mentioned, exactly in investors, because investment is happening in Angola as well. I'll put it back to Paula. Paula, in an investor point of view, how do you see the Angolan market?
Hi, thank you for inviting me. It's also a pleasure and an honor to be here at the launch of this important Women in Tech program. In the way I look at this Angolan ecosystem is in a very positive way, because I think this is a very attractive environment. And why? Because we have so many variables in favor to this movement. First of all, we have the need. I mean, the market wants to innovate, and the companies want to invest in digital and technology, and they are investing as we speak. So this is the first basis for an attractive ecosystem. Then we have a big potential amongst people. We have a very young population, which is a big advantage, a very smart and fast adaptive population. So we have found an immense number of people in the technology environment that are self-learners, that have developed their own way of research and internet-based development, which is very good. And there is a huge sense of entrepreneurship amongst Angolans. So we find a lot of initiatives. I'm sure that Amy at the Founders Institute will have the access to all of that. We also have it in the Digital Factory, which is a business that we created to attract these youngsters, where we provide them with tools, with a good internet band, and speed, and we accommodate them to bring their own ideas, and we support this development of their own ideas, and also we challenge them with our programs. So the point is that the system works. We have all the variables there. We have an immense territory to explore. The telecoms are very good, so that's very important as well, because sometimes we speak about investing and innovating in technology-wise, but we have to have the basics in place. And we have a very good telecommunication system. We have good wireless bands. So I think we have all the variables. We have this, which I also agree with Amy, this team spirit where we help each other, we support each other, because I think we are all in a learning stage. The companies want to innovate. They want to be more proactive in terms of customer experience, but they are lacking a few steps behind in terms of processes, etc., which digital will help. But it must be a teamwork, because we have lots of different skills in the pot. So I think in terms of ecosystem, we are further ahead, and it's a very attractive environment for an investor from an investor point of view.
Well, and you picked up a very important point that was how companies are reacting and how they are adapting to this innovation, digital technology areas. Well, we couldn't have someone better to talk about that than Claudia. In the banking area, the Standard Bank is really standing out in the work they are doing. Claudia, do you want to share a little bit of your experience?
Okay. Hi all, and Romana, thank you again for the invitation. I actually had the opportunity to watch some of the conversations during today, and it was a very interesting event, and well done for the organization.
Thank you.
I think to talk about innovation, not only talk about implementing new products and new solutions, is also talking about changing the organizational culture behavior. So we need to change the way that we continue to work and to new ways of working, new ways of doing things. At Standard Bank, we actually are adopting agile culture. So that will help us to be very proactive in understanding our client needs, and also to understand embracing solutions from other industries, other other countries that we can also integrate in our environment. Also, it's very, very important how to bring the human design thinking to the organization, to remove frictions and paper-based process and ways, to ensure a very intuitive and process and easy and reliable service that we can provide to our customers. In that, so we are implementing some solutions on that regards that will also help our customers and our employees. And it's very important in this case to work very close in co-creation with startups that enable us also to innovate. As everyone mentioned, the ecosystem is very, very young, but with many challenges that the startups faces today, but is very promising. So watch this space. It's my goal.
Yes, it's true. And well, Amy, it's at Founders, you do have a lot of not just startups working, but you have a lot of verticals working together, and at the same time, a lot of organizations working together. How is the relation between startups and incumbents? How are things proceeding? You are muted. Can you please unmute? You are unmute. Can you unmute, please?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I can confirm that there is a growing interest of corporation and public institution in understanding how the ecosystem works. And they are doing this, interacting and supporting, even involving in projects with the startups. This is something that is very positive. Of course, takes time. In the case of the Founder Institute, Luanda, we can highlight the partnership that we have with companies and with verticals. In this case, it's important for me to highlight the partnership that we have with the Disruption Lab, powered by Banco Milenio Atlántico. Mm-hmm. With this partnership, both entities, Founder Institute Luanda and the Disruption Lab, we are trying to jointly support the startups' needs in terms of mentoring, co-working space, expertise, also infrastructure, in order to help startups with the MVPs, prototyping, trials. This is our objective.
Great.
For the Founder Institute. Yeah.
And you see this relation growing between the corporate and the startups, right?
Yes, definitely. For us, as Founder Institute, and I believe that for others, ecosystem builders, the same, this kind of partnership with companies, with verticals, is what we call in our network, in the Founder Institute, is like a smart approach with focus in order to activate local resources, to attract talent from the companies, their expertise, and put it at service of our ecosystem.
That's a very important point that you are focusing resources, because it's not easy to find resources in this area at all. It's all over the world, the same issue. And Paula, a little while ago, you were mentioning a digital factory as well. Can you just elaborate a little bit more of what you are doing and how it can be more relevant to the ecosystem?
Sure. I think I find this kind of human beings that we relate to digital and technology, a different kind of people, and we have to adapt to this new kind of people. Which is, I'm not stating anything positive or negative. It's just different. And I've been working in Angola for 25 years, so I think I can express myself about the generations that I've been hiring along all these years. And what I find interesting in what's happening right now is that these startups and even the freelancers, because we are talking about it's like a micro company. So we are talking about sometimes startups with 2-3 people. And sometimes we have one person with one initiative that wants to set up a business. But they don't want to be retained by corporates. Mm-hmm. So they don't want a full-time job. They don't want a formal job. For example, at Digital Factory, we had to establish a new timetable for the office. We have to have the office open 24 hours because we have a lot of people that work along the night, all through the night. And at 8 o'clock in the morning, you have no one at the office unless they slept there. So we have to adapt to them and not the opposite. Yeah. It's a learning curve. But with the few, when I look to other geographies like Portugal and UK, which are some of the ones that I know better, you have a few resources, very expensive, very difficult to hire. In Angola, we have a larger amount of skills available, very fast, not so expensive, as long as you give them the freedom that they need. So it's attractive because obviously we need to invest in the skills development, in the training and the access to online training, which they know everything about the new languages and new types of coding, etc. But you just provide them with the tools and the proper environment and let them be free.
Then let them be free.
Challenge on the business perspective, because we have timelines, we have costs management, and all of this costs money. So the issue now is it's a very expensive evolution, let's say. And what I think we need to do as a team with the different verticals and different sides of the ecosystem is to try to make it viable, try to make it work. The value for the money needs to work, and that's a challenge right now in the Angolan context as well as in the world context.
Yes.
Technology.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Claudia, and picking up a little bit of what Paulo was mentioning, in the financial area, there's a big investment also in the innovation and the technological area. Where do you get your resources? How are you dealing with it?
So I think that definitely the skills required for technology innovations is we have a shortage even in the market for the needs that we want. It's quite curious because I'm from the banking sector, and if you look at a few years ago, the most valuable roles in the banking sector was related to sales, was related to commercial roles. But now with the new change and in the world that we live, linked to the fourth industrial revolution, we need some skills that we don't have yet in the bank. So such as data science, such as skills more related to technologies, or even competence like critical thinking, problem solving. It's skills and competence that starts to emerge, and of course lead us to get the right people and then get the right programs and training. And also, and I understand what Paulo was mentioning about the freelancers. It's quite normal, and especially in Angola, it's quite curious because people, the entrepreneur is very cultured. So
Yes.
most of the people have the day job and they have the outside business. It's very common to have that. And the way that we structure ourselves as a corporate organizations is that you need to be bound by the corporate, and you cannot have other outside business, and that eventually will kill the corporates that continue to think in that way. So we need to just understand and how can we leverage from that knowledge and collaboration between different verticals, and as example collaborate with some of the as Paulo's mentioned, some of the players in the market that we can leverage and upskills our teams and enable to that. So and this actually leads to new ways of work. We actually talk about that, but it becomes the now ways of work. It's quite interesting. Yeah.
Yes. Well, and Claudia, with the I can't avoid the COVID-19 situation that well, we were all surprised with, and we were all had to adapt to it. How did the bank itself was able to kind of have part of the team or big part of the team having a new way of work in terms of remote, because it's not easy at all, and most of all Angola is a very special country with very special specifications.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, we live in a world that we live in uncertain. So, and never, I think, though, no company was prepared for this pandemic before. So, actually, I think the journey that the bank is doing over the years in terms of adopting strategy like cloud first, able to have platforms just like Office 365 or even Teams, actually allow us to proactively prepare ourselves for this situation. And also most of our employees, they had laptops, and when was the state of emergency was decreed, we actually were able to buy laptops for the employees that didn't have, and have other strategies such as providing access to important applications and strategical applications. So, and then we continue to do business as usual. I was just like to highlight here that it's this situation brings us also home office and also aligned to work at home, especially for us women, that we have also responsibilities in the house, actually demonstrate a resilience in maintaining this. I'll not say work house life balance. I'll say work house balance, and it finds interesting that, yeah. So, but yes, we actually are working very good.
Well, Paula, one of the companies that you founded and then you are also a partner is Call, where we have a large of employees. How was the experience of putting all these people working remote?
It's a challenging experience.
Yeah.
I think we moved very fast. We were able to make it work in a very pragmatic way, with the help of our own employees, because they suggested, they came up with a lot of suggestions. I think in this market in Angola, we have a very good experience of how to solve unpredicted problems. So everybody knows how to react, and everybody reacts very well under pressure. And that, I would say, it outpasses Europe in like 200%, because the resilience and the capacity to focus on what you have to do. Don't moan about what's happening, but let's focus on what is the point. So we need to work from home. We don't have the ideal conditions at home. So let's identify who has a proper space with some privacy, who has access to internet, or if we buy an internet provider, it can work in its place. Who is willing to share their own space with other co-workers. Mm-hmm. So the initiatives came from both sides. We made available all the resources like laptops, Wi-Fi, etc., and they came up with the places where they would work. So we had in the neighborhoods, we have, as we speak,
yes,
specific houses where they do shifts. So one employee house, and then the other comes at 6 o'clock in the morning and works until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then the other neighbor comes, and that's how we do it. We were able to do it with around 50% of the operation. We are talking about 2,000 employees, so it's a lot of people. And the other 50%, we spread them in the operation spaces, so that we respected 2 meters distance. And we did it in, I would say, 2 weeks.
Wow.
And it's working very well. And it's, as I said before in our previous conversations, I mean, the COVID was an accelerator to this digital evolution.
Absolutely.
Made us run after something that we were all talking about, but we were very slowly making some steps ahead. But now we have to do it. So this virtual contact with customers, with the virtual contact with the employees, the e-learning, I mean, the training that we are doing at distance, the flexible timetables, the flexible work, providing women with some hours that they can be at home although working, but they can be at home, which is a very important evolution. And mainly in this women in tech, that is our team. I think we run a lot of steps ahead and in a very positive way within a very negative context. So let's take the best out of the worst.
Exactly. Well, we had a negative side and also a positive side on COVID. And Jaime, well, managing an acceleration program is not easy at all. How was it managing with an issue that was a state of emergency on top?
Well, as Paula and Claudia already said, it's challenging. It's challenging. It's something that we needed to prepare ourselves very fast and respond very fast to the challenge. To keep people safe and stop the spread, we move our startup accelerator program in a virtual format, 100%. So we don't. It's not more hybrid or anything. It's just 100% online. Scheduling multiple online startup events per week to help entrepreneurs to build their business from home. Was really, we are still running the second program. We have 12 startups, and we have been facing different difficulties trying to incorporate in their companies because the public institutions were closed, and we have our program, we have our timing. So we needed to discuss and trying to explain our fellow Founder Institute programs in other cities and mainly with the HQ office in order to understand and to accommodate the program to our situation, our localizing our situation. But okay, we are succeeding. We are working. We are trying to accommodate the schedule. We have 4 women in our programs. So in our programs, as you can imagine, that they are dealing with their office job from home. Then they are creating a new business. Then they have to respond, of course, to their responsibilities with the families, with the small kids. So it has been very, very, very challenging. But we're making it. Yeah.
And it is indeed, well, it was indeed very, very, very challenging in the beginning. It still is. Well, we are still there, and we are still all dealing with it in different scales. But I believe, and from what I see, and from our experience in the companies that I'm running, we all adapted very fast, and people also they responded very fast, and we never trained so many people as we did in the last month in order to have them as strong as possible and to deliver the best service that we could. So the effort that we are doing, not only in terms of tech and innovation, but also in terms of having people that are ready to the market and delivering the best product possible. I think that are really the drivers that all the companies are pointing out, at least the ones that are looking at the future. Well, the 3 of you are very experienced in the market. I would really like to have each of you with a few highlights on the role of women in Angola. So please, I will leave it to you, whoever wants to start.
Well, I can start. I can. I would like to start by saying that in the companies where I'm involved, 80% of the leadership jobs belong to women. So it's not we're talking about it. It's we believe it and we do it. The opportunity, it's an equal opportunity, but definitely women in Angola have performed very well in terms of evolution in their careers, and I think that has a lot to do with the self-confidence and the focus on results, and what I feel in the society as a whole, from all status, is that women have been a strong pillar for the development of the country, for all its circumstances, from war and men going to war and women having to deal with all the family and the support structure. Obviously, that's the story. But even nowadays, I think it's very obvious the resilience and the strong character that we find. We don't, unfortunately, we don't find many women in the pure technology jobs, but we are starting to find some women. And I think we can perform a very important role on the education from early years to expose them to this environment. Because, boys start to game much earlier. And it sounds common, but it's one of the ways to wake up for the technology world and the digital world. It's the gaming, it's all the interaction with the tools, and I think we need to start stimulating that and motivating women when they are still in their childhood. And I think we could do that job via women in tech and even amongst our corporations. Go to schools, talk to them, even at our offices where, we are trying to create this kind of a Google look for digital factory. And I know that there are other company startups that are also betting on this cool environment. It's good to bring them in and show them what is this world. On the other side, is also very important to make people understand what is this technological world, because it's not only coding and the nerds of engineering, but there is also a sexy side for it, the design, the creative side of it, the innovation, the thinking new ideas from zero, new ways of doing things. And that's pretty much a feminine world. We invent things every day. So we need to make it attractive, to motivate these youngsters to come and look and see that we are not all awful and, with a 16 hours day job, that they can take some fun and passion out of it.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Claudia, what do you think about it?
So maybe if I can, what Paula is saying about the important role of the woman in Angola in the society, but we don't see often women playing roles in the technology. But the technology can also play a very important role for inclusion, for professional inclusion and financial inclusion for the women. Yes. And we can actually see that some good examples of starting to code. They can start to code at their houses, and if you look in terms of typical roles in the IT technology, the more related to infrastructure or security, they don't have actually time to. There are roles that you need to work in the office for a long time, and if you look in our society, that cannot be very good at a woman, and you can have some stigma of women doing that kind of roles. But I think that more and more often, if I look back, I was not born 15 years ago, but most of the jobs were very related to secretarial roles, for very admin. Right. But now often we are seeing more women in management positions. My example in my company, or in the bank, Standard Bank that I work, the only woman that we have in our board members actually came the background from IT. So how can we play a role in terms of providing more mentoring to ensure the success of growing more women in the technology, and how technology can embrace that to provide them a source of income as well?
Agree as well, totally. Amy, it's in your hands now.
Okay, well, the Angolan woman is for me is an example of natural instinct for entrepreneurship in the battle of the everyday life. And I think that if we facilitate education, infrastructure support, digital and financial literacy, and we reinforce the confidence in herself, we can have very good surprises. And as my previous colleagues mentioned, we have already a very good examples already in the country. So it's happening. What we need now is a multiplication factor, and this is something that I think that Women in Tech can help on this. We, as an accelerator program, we have our goals. Also, we are doing our best in order to increase the number of women participating and trying to create their own business, technology-based companies with our programs. So I think that we have a very good opportunity. Even the COVID-19 situation is helping us on this. So what we need to do is just to do it. We need to make it happen.
Yes, sure. Well, Melissa, Claudia, although you are not from the Angolan panel, I would like to have 30 seconds to a minute from each of you to highlight all that you have listened from this panel, and your best wishes to the Angolan chapter, please. Melissa?
No problem. Thank you. It was really interesting to see your experiences. So thank you to all the speakers. You were amazing. I think in terms of, you can't really compare chapters really like for like, because each country is different. Even though we're on the same continent, we always say Africa is not a country. So, every country has got its own different kind of issues, where in South Africa, we've got a lot of, I guess there's still 80% of the population still does not have access to technology, because of some poorer areas. So I think for us, it's more about putting in programs and putting in goals to achieve over the next year or two to make sure that we can address those issues by working in partnerships with corporates. We want to start programs of entrepreneurship or internship or mentorship programs. And I think each country, each chapter will have their own programs that would suit their needs within the country, where I think where they can have the most impact and make the most changes. So I think for us, I guess is trying to get everyone included, spread the message of diversity, and also work together with the other chapters to see what ideas they've got and where we can work together and help each other to really drive forward this movement. But good luck with your chapter, and I really look forward to hearing more about the successes and all the stories that you will share of how you've had an impact and changed lives. So good luck with you.
Thank you, Melissa. Claudia, final remarks, please.
I was unmuted, so sorry. So glad that we can extend also our partnership that we were built here in Portugal, because Romana is also from advisory board from Portugal chapter. So we work together and closely, and I know her strengths. I know her commitment with her work and the programs and the willing to help everybody. So I know that the work that we are being done here together, the partnerships with Founder Institute, the scholarship for women that wants to found a company and be an entrepreneur, the programs, the mentorings that we are working together, they can also translate to Angola context. And I know that you will be a true ambassador for technology, for women in tech in Angola, and you will do an amazing work.
Thank you, Claudia. Ayumi, well, it's the 15th chapter now. Final remarks for Angola and to all that are listening to us.
I would say that welcome to the family, as I would say, and I'm very excited to go on a roundtable with you and with the team that you're going to be building in Angola as well, to see exactly what are the flagship programs that we have as Women in Tech that we will be able to implant in Angola, and because obviously it's going to be according to the local ecosystem, and also which programs or initiatives that already exist in Angola that we really can learn from, and that we can try and replicate elsewhere, and learn from the things that are already happening there, and which are success stories, and that can help us empower women in other parts of Africa and the world. So I think it's really something about sharing knowledge, sharing energy, and working together, everybody together.
Sisterhood.
Sisterhood, yes.
Well, as in my perspective, what I have planned for the Angolan chapter, and I already count with 3 persons that will be on my side: Amy, Claudia, and Paula, with whom I've been discussing a lot that we can do together. We believe that education is the basis to build women that will be strong and that can make a difference. Mentorship is also a key to guide women in what they can do in their lives, in their professional lives, in their personal lives as well. Even us that are already picking up in what we are doing, we always need mentors. Diversity, empowering women, not just because we want only women in our companies or in the companies, but because women, they wear so many hats that sometimes the imposter syndrome comes up, and we think that we are not able to do the job, and we need someone that kicks us out and tells us, "You go, girl," as my kids tell me, and just give us the empowerment that we need. So this education, mentorship, and the empowerment are really the way that we think that are the basis for the inclusions that we need. And technology is the basis for the growth of the economy. So it is the role, or the most important role, that nowadays we have. And if we do if we do an effort to have people that embrace technology, they are building a future, and the future is now, right? It's not just something that will happen in a decade or 5 years from now. It is already happening, and we see it. We just see it in our phones, and we want to make a difference in people's life, not only in their professional life, but also in their private lives, giving them a better life, so they can also give a better education to their kids. There's an African proverb with which I will finish, that says that if you educate a man, you are educating an individual, but if you educate a woman, you are educating a nation. And I think that it's all said. I welcome all the women and whoever is watching us to come to Women in Tech, to connect with us, through LinkedIn or to connect with me through my social media network, drop their names and drop their contacts, and very soon we will come back to them with a plan of what we are doing. Meanwhile, the audience, they were tough because they didn't want to come up with some questions, but finally they did. So they come up with some questions that I will put now. And one of them is for you, Amy. That is for Founder Institute. Would you like to share with us a story of any particular startup that disrupted the market or created any particular change?
Well, thank you for the question. We are during the first program. We created, we incorporated 10 companies. Now, during the second program, we intend to incorporate 12 companies. In terms of innovation, we have different types of innovation. Not so far, we didn't create any completely disrupted solution in the market. Most of the solution that came out from our founders are being addresses to efficiency innovation, or also the sustaining innovation. Which is they are trying to create better products, enhance what's already enhancing what already existing, base it in completely different and new business models. I can share the experience. I can share it. One of the companies that we created, that we are fighting now in order to get the company completely in place, which is a startup producing biodegradable detergent, which a very interesting history. And this is one of the companies founded by a woman. And which is, I'm very proud of this. We have also 2 projects very interesting in this second program. The companies are not created yet, but they are related with recycling and with waste management. And it's something that will will be very interested to implement the solution and go to the market.
Thank you. There's another question. In the country where internet service cost is very high, how can we make sure policies in country are aligned standard with the first world in the way people can have free access to basic technology as having access to computer from primary school? Can you share your view? I think all of us have a word on this one, but Zaida, I can start by saying that not even in the first world we have internet in primary school, and we don't have computers in primary school. I'm locked down in Portugal, and so I can't go back to Luanda right now. And what happens is that people that and the kids that are in homeschooling, they are having school through TV because they do not have computers. And this is Portugal, that is a first world country. And there are also issues with the internet. But please, girls, proceed and also give me your opinion.
I also think it's a very interesting question, and I also share the same feelings that you mentioned. I think that there are some work, and recently there was some approvals for the education to be free in Angola. So I think and also there was a legislation that came out also to online education that we didn't have in country. So I think that small steps are being taken, and when with regards to policies, of course, the government is the main. They have the policy, is the policy maker, but I think that ourselves as a corporate and even the organization can play a fundamental role and to support the organization or the public organization in that journey. But I think that we are still in the long step of the journey, to be honest.
Any other comment about Zaida's question? I think it's a process, and I think things will proceed. We need time. Things are happening. Better conditions are coming, but we need time. I think it's also something that worries everyone that is related with education, and even the telcos have been doing a great job giving the opportunity for people to have access with cards, with letters, with a smaller value, for instance. But it is something that will come up with time. We also need to give them time. Well, girls, our time is up. I want to thank each of you to be here in the Angolan chapter lounge. Well, I'm sure that we will have a lot of work to do, and I'm sure that we will be very successful in Angola to make the difference in a lot of people's lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much. Great work. Bye-bye. Adeus.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Romana. Bye.
Obrigada.
Obrigada, Cláudia. Obrigada.